Good evening, viewers and listeners. We are live, and welcome to the Seven City Shoptalk Sports Show, coming to you from the beautiful state of Virginia to everyone all over the world. I am your host, Big Law Lawrence Johnson, and as always, we have a ton to cover when we're talking about the world of sports on this side of the state of Virginia. I can tell you one thing: even though it's a little slow right now, there's still a lot of information. There's still a lot of things to talk about, when we're talking about the University of Virginia and just sports in general. I would like to think that, it's not as they call it a dry season as it is, but there's still things out there to talk about. One thing that I like to do before I get started is I want to thank you for joining us another episode of our brand of dysfunctional camaraderie. And as of now, this shop is open. And again, I am your host, Big Law Lawrence Johnson, and I may have some of my co-hosts step in as well. We may have AB come in. We may have Ed and the rest of the crew, Amy, Ethan, and Chad. They may jump in or drop in as well. But like I said, the shop is open. Thank you for jumping in. And for those in the chat, be sure to put your comments in the chat, and we will respond, and we will give you a shout out, and also maybe even bring you on to the show, if need be. So let's go ahead and just kind of get into it right now about University of Virginia sports. So how about this was a big ring reveal happened the last few days. Excuse me, a big ring reveal for the football team that they actually, when they won the Gator Bowl, whenever you win these bowls, these championships, or whatever you do, you get championship rings. And the boys actually got their rings given to them in a video that Coach Elliott and the staff put together, media staff put together, and it was a really cool ring. With the University of Virginia on it, with the Gator Bowl, and them taking out Missouri for the win, an impressive one. And it's pretty cool whenever you see things like that. We got Ed jumping in. I see Ed coming in here. Hey, what's up, Ed? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man.
Yeah,
where's everybody else?
I'm not. It's summer, so I don't know. Maybe, they might be.
Wood decided he got the SS Wood pile out and got it all fixed up. Might as well take it somewhere.
Maybe
not going to Brazil anymore.
Well, that's something we're going to talk about. I was just talking about the big ring reveal for University of Virginia football this past week, and this was really cool rings. Well deserved. 11 win season, the first ever for University of Virginia football. Did you get a chance to check that out, Ed?
No, I have not. I'll have to look that up. It's always interesting to me that I can't remember what comedian it was that said it, but it was interesting to them that in a macho sport like football, the biggest prize is a gaudy little ring.
But when you say little, they're actually
they're not so little. I mean,
right.
You could chuck a wheel with some of these things.
Oh no, it's assault. If you ever hit anybody with one of these things, you're going down.
I remember I'm somewhere around this place is my class ring from high school, and I remember turning it over and cracking anybody on the head that I was related to. So I mean, and these things are you can seriously hurt somebody with these. The Super Bowl rings and the World Series rings and all of that stuff. It's interesting to me that it's the big prize is for a macho sport is jewelry.
Well, we're in the bling bling era. Still,
I get it. These kids, I don't understand them.
Still in the bling bling era. Well, I remember when talk about the bling bling era when Coach Wood. Here we go. Here's Wood. He's firing off already.
Yes, we were one of the first ones.
You were the first one. So
well, we had just been able to dig it out of the earth,
unearth it,
and melt it down. So it was. They were a little crude, but we were proud of it.
Well, this is what I can say. It was an awesome ring. It was good to see the guys receive them and the happiness on their face when they got them. And I thought it was just an awesome ceremony. But let's go ahead and jump into like a serious conversation
Okay.
that we need to have here. And this is about Brendan Sorsby. Brendan Sorsby, who is a Heisman hopeful and starting quarterback last year for Texas Tech, who is supposed to be, one of the top quarterbacks taken coming
You
up
can
in
take
this.
him.
Yeah, that
You can
could be
you can
taken
take
in
him.
this
I'm not.
draft. Just got out of rehab for a betting addiction. The number was he had betted about $90,000 worth of bets over the past year or two, or however. And he went to a rehab, and the NCAA deemed him ineligible. But then a court
Really?
filed an injunction to freeze it and to stop the NCAA from imposing that rule on him. So now he's eligible to play. And the question is, should he be eligible to play after gambling on college sports, a sport that he plays in? And I guess anyone who really digs deep enough can really analyze. Did he bet on himself? Did he bet on?
Two words.
Oh, here you go, Ed. Go ahead, buddy.
Two words. Hell no.
Right.
How do you trust him?
I don't know.
It's that simple. I caught a lot of grief from baseball fans in general, but Reds fans in particular, because I didn't have a problem with Pete Rose being banned for life. I don't have a problem with Shoeless Joe Jackson being permanently ineligible. You had a role in which you had a duty to perform, and you didn't perform. So why should I trust you ever again? Fool me once, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Okay, all right. I like to get your perspective on that too, Wood. If you're still there, bro. For me,
Wood's whole life is a gamble.
Well, this is what I mean. This is what I would say. I'm gonna have to say it like this. There needs to be some kind of guardrails put on this situation, man. You got kids like him, and I'm sure as rampant as college sports betting is, and just sports betting in general, there are players playing through friends and family and handlers and all different kinds, or old school bookies, digital bookies, I guess is what we'll call them.
Yeah.
Where they're putting bets in through other channels, usually through, verbally and saying, hey, bet on this. And they figure out ways how to siphon the money to the bookies.
I mean, it's always been a part of the game. I mean,
yeah,
it's an unpleasant part of the game, and certainly one we don't like to talk about a whole lot. But sure. I mean, this goes back to the Chicago White Sox were not the first team to think about betting on a game or maybe throwing the game. It's so we need to stop the pearl clutching. Oh my gosh, we're gambling on the sport we love. Newsflash, it's been happening.
Sure.
But when I think I've said it on here a couple of times. When every other ad on a baseball game or a sports event of any pick a sporting event, when every other ad is a bet for online gambling, I mean, how shocked can we be that this sort of thing happens? It probably is going on a lot more than we think. Remember when the what was it? The baseball coach from Alabama was caught doing some sort of online wagering.
Sure.
And he resigned, and it just kind of went away. And I think it was a week or two ago, I saw something about was 4 players from I think it was South Alabama
Mm-hmm.
were convicted of throwing a game in 2024. Apparently, there's been some shenanigans in the NBA. Um, it's only a matter of time before it happens again in what was it, Shohei Otani's translator
Yeah.
or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was something like
Uh,
that.
yeah, it's if you think your sport's immune to it, you're setting yourself
Naive.
up for disappointment.
Yeah, you're naive. I mean, this is what I can say. I think, you know, I guess, okay, betting on your own sport, absolutely not. No way. You are out of here, or you are suspended. Should they be able to bet on other sports? That's even more of a question because there's a lot of gray area
Yeah,
in that.
you're
Um,
exposing yourself to, let's say you bet a wide on baseball, and you lose.
right.
Well, you can't impact baseball, but you can impact football or basketball.
I would say, yeah. I mean, if you bet on yourself, you bet on your own sport. You know what I mean? You should be suspended. Um,
Yeah.
you know, uh, at the least. Some people, say a full ouster of the person, and that's it. But I definitely would say, you're definitely suspended until
Oh
further
yeah.
notice.
Yeah.
As far as betting on other sports, you know, if it's not on their sport, but then again, how can you be sure or clear that someone is not betting outside of that and betting,
Yeah.
and letting that seep into their own sport? So, um,
And
and
don't count on it.
then the biggest question: should the kid be eligible to play? And I say no,
No.
not right now. I think that the kid should, in my opinion, he should probably scrap this season and totally prepare himself for the college. I mean, for the pro game, and get himself ready for the I mean, that's the only way. Because I mean,
Yeah, I mean he's
he
done.
he's putting that team in a situation where they may have to forfeit games.
Yeah.
If let's say he continue to dig, and let's say he messes up a little bit and says, I'm not betting on my team. I'm just betting on Penn State. I'm betting on, you know,
Oh yeah.
Texas. I'm betting on, a rival. I'm not, going betting against a rival. I'm not betting on
Right.
myself. And
Right.
then that gets found out. That could potentially put
Well,
that team into a forfeiture situation.
yeah. What's
Um,
one of the arguments you heard excusing Pete Rose was, well, he bet on his own team. Um, yeah, he bet on his own team. There was one instance where I can't remember who they were playing, but he had bet on his team. There
right.
was a three game weekend series, and he had bet there. It was on record that he had bet on. I know he had bet on the Friday game, and I think he had bets ready to go on the other two. And he basically used up his bullpen on Friday night, and so
Mm.
they had no bullpen the rest of the weekend. Does that affect the competitive balance of the game? I feel like it does.
Yeah,
All it takes is one pick six to turn a game around.
that's true.
And if you're the quarterback, the ball's in your hands a lot.
I would say, scrap this year, college year, and that would show maturity, I believe, with the NFL, and let them know that that part of your life is over, and prepare yourself for a pro career. Because he's apparently he is a first round talent coming up this year. There's teams that this was a historically weak draft when it came to quarterbacks. We had two taken, one taken number one, but the next one was taken at like 12 or 13, and then there wasn't a quarterback taken at all in the rest of the draft. So
Who,
I,
who,
I,
who
I
was that quarterback taken in the first round?
it
Who was
was
that kid?
the kid that was drafted by your Raiders, and then of course you had Ty Simpson, who was drafted by the Rams, which was a total surprise.
Yeah, a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, and then you didn't have a quarterback till the second round, but
Yeah.
but
You liked him that much, you could have had him in the second and the third too.
yeah, so we're gonna have to follow that follow that situation, follow that story coming into this fall and coming into this year. So, second subject or second topic we're going to talk about today is the NC State game was canceled in Brazil, but
Too
picked
bad we
back
don't have a
up,
sad trombone sound.
picked back up, picked back up as a home game.
Well, as
And
I understand it, with the game in Brazil, we for some reason had been designated as the home team. Now I don't know whether that was because we played in Raleigh last year, even though it wasn't a conference game. I'm not sure, but the reason it's at our place was that we were scheduled to be the home team for whatever reason.
well, it is a home game and it is a conference game, so
Okay.
it does count as an in conference game. And let's see where we go with this. So you got NC State at home. We actually are gonna get season ticket holder or season ticket holders. We got an extra ticket. Should have an extra ticket in our digital ticket booth, our ticket booth to see and use and to go. So I got an extra ticket, extra set of tickets that I can give out. I'm happy about that.
I was glad to see UVA did not try to gouge people on that.
No, I'm
I mean,
telling you,
technically they could have.
they could have because it's a whole
It's another
setup.
game. It wasn't on the schedule.
Well, it's a game that they have to pretty much give free tickets to.
Yeah.
They have to give free. They're going to give free tickets to ticket holders.
Mm-hmm.
If other people are going to go to the game, yeah, they're going to have to pay for tickets. But us ticket holders,
season ticket
holders, got a free ticket.
Yeah,
I
was pleasantly surprised.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, I'm sorry, that's an extra game. We didn't count on that. It's. I would argue it's the right thing to do.
And it's NC State. It's a hell of a team with a hell of a quarterback.
I mean, it's not like we're playing, Delaware State or anything. No offense to Delaware State,
mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's not like you're playing somebody big like Elon or.
We played Delaware. Speaking of Delaware, we played them a little later this year.
Do we?
Yeah, we played Delaware. I think at Delaware. But we do have.
They're 1A, aren't they? Or are they 1AA?
They're 1A. They went up.
Okay,
I mean,
they're FBS.
They're FBS now.
Okay.
But yeah, so Brazil is canceled and they're gonna have the game here. I wonder what they're gonna do because I think they already put the themes out. I wonder what the theme is gonna be for that game as well.
The NC State game?
Yeah. Yep. Or maybe they can still keep it like Brazil. They can still.
I was saying, let's have some fun with it. Carnival.
Yeah, they do a carnival. That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Oh, you're kidding?
If they did a Brazilian.
You think the bourbon is flowing on a regular Saturday?
Oh my God! Not only that, let's say the tailgate start cooking like Brazilian steaks and all the Brazilian meat.
Charlottesville's going to reek like a Brazilian steakhouse.
Awesome. That would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Maybe we should send that up the ladder to the school and say, make it a Brazilian theme. Let's let's go ahead and have
those of you in the tailgate competition.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Take
and
notes.
The cheerleaders, dancing, the carnival outfits.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, let's go. That'd be great. And maybe even have it like on the west or the east side parking lots where people, where you have like the streets are kind of people are. It's too late for that. They try to set all that up, but that'd be pretty cool.
Wood says if they'll do that, he'll get a Brazilian.
A Brazilian wax?
Yes.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, that'd be awesome. We have to tape that.
I mean, that's Wood for you. Anything for the team, right?
That's right. Anything for the team. But yeah, so we'll definitely keep that up to date. And any more news comes out about it, we'll talk about it. But UVA gets another home game, and let's see. We've done really well at home the last couple of years. So let's see if we can turn this. You know, we got some payback for them as well. But
Yeah, not a
but
problem there.
yeah, but we played them at home last year. If you remember, it was a home game. It was a loss, and it was I believe it was a home game, and that was a game that he tried to hit tight end in the back corner.
Oh yeah, and held it too long and missed. He held
And,
it too long,
and
didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he held it too long, or he could have ran it. But that was a game
I
that
think that
we
was in. I think that was away.
was it away.
I'm almost positive it was away.
For some reason, I feel like I was watching that in the press box or something.
Well,
But
I mean, not that there haven't been disappointing plays like that in Scott Stadium.
oh yeah,
Trust
oh
me.
yeah,
You know, I may have seen a few.
for sure, for sure. Next topic, we got the. Let's see, we lost. Eric says, "My man E, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in." He
Yeah,
said we lost it. It was at NC
that's what I thought.
at NC State. Okay, and year before at home in overtime. Yeah, NC State has been a thorn in our sides for a while here.
Let's just say it, they were a pain in the ass,
Yeah. Um.
kind of like Duke,
But
but not as obnoxious.
so the news is, and this is something that was compiled by records, shows that UVA has the most experience of any football team in college football this season coming up.
What's that old saying? The best thing about freshmen is they grow up to be sophomores.
Well, and people are saying, what's the big deal? Doesn't, and I'm asking, and I'm just asking the question, does it translate to wins? And I'm going to say, usually it does, especially on the college level. A lot of times, freshmen aren't ready to play. Sophomores are barely ready to play, unless there's some kind of freakazoid like the receivers that have been coming out of Ohio State. But you usually don't get a lot of kids that are totally full-blown college stars ready to play, and they're big-time difference makers as a true freshman. But UVA has the most experience, and I can tell you, it seems like it's following a pattern.
It makes a certain amount. We were pretty young last year, so I mean, it just kind of.
I don't know. We were young. We had a lot of elder statesmen there.
Well,
But this is the thing: the team that won the national championship last year had one of the oldest teams in the nation.
well, yeah, you didn't just have super seniors; you had super duper seniors.
Exactly.
You know,
And that's what UVA looks like they're gonna have is some super duper seniors, and this may be the last year for it, based off of how the NCAA
it's getting a little ridiculous. Yeah,
and how they're trying to
they need to
lock
bring
it
that
down,
in.
lock it in, and say you only got so many years regardless.
Yeah.
So, this could be the last hurrah for some of these older players. For me, I really don't mind it. I feel like good football is good football, and I don't really care if it's you got some older guys on there. So what are you gonna get guys that are Mormons that go on missions and come back? They're 25, 26 with 2 kids and a wife. You know what I mean? Those are, those are. Yeah, I mean,
I remember some high school teams like that.
right, right. Got to see that birth certificate.
You think I'm kidding?
No. I've seen it. I've coached against it. Where I've said, man, that kid, he has a beard like mine.
He's a grown man. Yeah.
Listen, I was one of those kids, believe it or not, where I was 8th grader, and I had a full little beard, and they really were like, "There's no way, there's no way
my brother got a lot of that. He was like almost 7 feet tall and at least 400 pounds. There were some people in Little League that questioned whether or not he should be playing football.
Sure.
I mean, as the coach's wife once put it to me, what if he falls on Stewart?
Mm-hmm.
Stewart's going to be a lot flatter than he used to be. I can tell you that. Um,
Call
you
him
know,
Stuart Little for
Stewart
more
Flat,
Stuart Flat, more
Flat
reasons than one.
Stewart, not Flat Stanley, Flat Stewart.
Right.
It's yeah.
Yeah. I
When
mean,
you're physically bigger, you have a distinct advantage. My daughter's when she was playing, I think it was U14 soccer,
right.
in Charlottesville. They didn't have anybody on the team over 12 because we just didn't. We didn't have anybody. We had a bunch of 12-year-olds, and that first year in U14, it was a little rough. You were not physically big enough to hold your position in the box or to maintain a run, that sort of stuff. Once we had been in the league a second year, the girls were a lot more comfortable because some of that size differential had been made up.
Right. Right.
So it's there is something to it. You know sometimes freshmen don't know they're not supposed to be good.
That's
Um,
true. That is
and
a very true statement.
sometimes seniors like, what, I'm tired of this crap. Um, we're gonna go out here and this is what we're gonna do. So it's I think it's not more about seniors automatically or freshmen automatically. It's more about the individual. If like you
Mm-hmm.
said, if that freshman doesn't know he's not supposed to be good, nobody wake him up. Um,
right.
it's that simple. Um, you know, remember when Magic and Bird hit the NBA? They
Yeah.
were what, 20 years old.
Yeah, but we're and that is a great argument. But I gotta add to that is it's different for basketball than football. The
Yeah, I think
physicality of
it's
the
yeah.
physicality of
I see what you're
football.
saying.
Yeah, the physicality of football to me is just a bit of a difference. Um, when in basketball, it more ranges on athleticism. And then the strength usually comes later, but a lot of these kids is more athleticism and skill based in basketball until
Yeah,
they and these are for the elite freakish athletes that do have the NBA who have NBA talent. But
yeah.
I can tell you though, UVA having one of the more tenured teams, the most tenured, excuse me, the most tenured team in college football. I think it'll translate to wins. And we'll see how that all shakes out as
So kids
well.
are getting tenure now too.
Yep, yep,
It's not
yep.
just the profs; it's the kids.
Well, you only got a year or two left, guys. So get it in while you can.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So officially, next segment here, we are in what I like to call the donation wars with Virginia Tech, where Virginia, and let's just say what it is. We've always been conservative with a lot of things in the past when it comes to monies for athleticism and
Hmm.
facilities. But over these past 3-4 years, 2, 3, 4 years, they have had donors come out of the pocket. They have had the school getting, uh, building facilities on the grounds, more appealing to incoming students and having just things, having chefs on staff as well. And this is
That
something
blows
that,
my mind.
well, full blown nutritionists, they
But
need
I
that.
get it.
Yeah, 100%. The bigger, more successful schools have that. And you see this team win 11, um, 11 games after these things have been implemented. Can you draw that parallel? I can. I
You
can. I
know,
can see.
we talked about how last year was uh, sort of a not a game changer, but a decided change in how things were operating. That programs were being successful across the board. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just football; it was football, it was basketball, baseball, sort of, uh, lacrosse. Yeah. But the women's basketball, softball. I had an opportunity to talk to a couple of the softball players, and they loved it. And I said, do you think it's made a difference? they said, yeah, I think so. They said, you feel better and your recovery time is shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Winner, fancy chicken dinner.
Right. Right. Yeah. I feel like, having nutritionists on staff with chefs and or chefs, nutritionists slash whatever, and then also new weight room, just bringing everything up, incredibly new locker rooms, just a new football hub, offices, everything, just making it more streamlined, making it more modern, contemporary, like what they would go and see on any other campuses or grounds, and just being more regulated and being more in the game and more invested
Yeah,
in a good football program. And you see that. You see that. Yeah, and now we're seeing the results. I feel we're seeing the results of that. And I don't care what anybody says. It was the right thing to do. They had to go in. It was either that or, you know, continue to be a mediocre and get minimal money,
yeah.
from from in the main funds, because you're not packing the stadium. Your main funds are coming from the conference
Right.
and,
My
and,
my
and
mom would hate to hear me
concessions.
say this, but everybody else is doing it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's the modern landscape. You either step up or get stepped on.
Well, how about this? Tech got a $75 million donation
Yes,
this past week or
yes.
in the last 5 days or so. Good gosh. Um,
I
and
talked
I
to a
and,
friend of
and,
mine.
and I heard that there is another donation coming for Virginia Tech. Significant, maybe not quite as significant as that. And then I'm saying to myself, oh, we're in the donation wars. Where is the next Virginia donation coming from
Yeah,
for
let's
football?
let's go to Virginia Athletic Foundation. You're not going to let them get away with that, are you?
Yeah,
It's only
absolutely.
75 million. It's not like
Only
it's real
75
money.
million. Well, what about
Come on,
Virginia?
that's walking around
Virginia,
money for you guys. Let's go.
yeah, yeah. So I'm thinking there could be another. Um, well, from what I heard, hey, what's going on, Kimberly? Kimberly, thank you for tuning in as well. Shout out to Wood, Eric, and Kimberly. But yeah, I think if they are giving, they're getting that kind of money, 75 million for the program. Virginia, remember, 3 years ago, got a commitment for $100 million,
Mm-hmm.
10 million at a time for 10 years. And then of course there's a whole bunch of other donations on top of that.
Yeah.
It's on. I think it should really turn into a Virginia Tech arms race when it comes to donating money to the programs. Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just have it. You
I'll
think
be
about
curious to
squad.
see how it plays out with like ODU, JMU.
Mm-hmm. Well, you think about this. You think about how Alabama, Auburn, Texas, you know, Ohio State, Michigan, a lot of their programs are built off of donations. Penn State, and the money that the alumni and the donors and the boosters, they give back to the school so they can continue to build their tradition. Maybe UVA and Virginia Tech, for that reason, have entered that. Let's go ahead and ride this wave, y'all. When
Yeah,
when you win that many games, you have to capitalize, which is why they're moving the media to the other side of the damn stadium. And I understand they want to give,
you
you
don't want to
know,
mingle in with the masses. I understand.
yeah, what they want to give Mr. Rich Man, Mr. Everything, the richest people, the one percenters, the 50 yard view, and move the whole media section out towards the Who Vision and all that. But that's what the word is. I'm not sure, but
Maybe if you
but
guys would donate a little money, you might get to keep your seats.
yeah, we can't run with them dudes. You know, they will not let us run with them. We cannot run. We can't can't compete. But those, and then of course they put standing room only areas right by the locker room for when the guys run out. You can almost touch them.
That's the one that really, I don't want to say worries me, but I am more than a little curious to see how they pulled this off. Because I
They
mean,
pulled it off.
there's not a lot of runoff area, especially in that corner.
No, there's not. But But they did it. They did it. So they're gonna have standing room this year, right?
Yeah.
Next year they're gonna move out the media and they're gonna give those 50-yard, or what is it, 30 to 30. It's the 1931 club is when the stadium was opened.
Yeah.
So it'll be from 30 to 30 luxury suites for all of the big wigs, and they're expecting it. And I get it. Hey, it is what it is with that, and uh, that comes with winning that many games. That's the deal. They got to
Yeah.
capitalize. They need to capitalize on the success. And if you go to any other like big football, big time stadium, I mean, you think about that cool new lighting system we have at the stadium. When we have all these night games, we want to show off, all our cool lights and for
Yeah.
commercials and all that. That's what that comes from. That's what that comes to. So they're moving us out, and they're giving it to the rich guys, and hey, that's it. It is what it is. So,
Yeah.
but we're officially in the donation wars with Virginia Tech. I don't care what anybody else says. It is what it is. Okay, and Virginia, it's your move. It's your move. Wahoo donors,
Yeah.
Wahoo boosters, Wahoo supporters. It's your move. Let's see what we can do to counter
Yeah.
what.
We're at the Sotheby's auction. It's 75 million to you, UVA.
That's right. That's right. So let's see what happens, and let's see what we can get donated and what else we can get to help further and to help the
That's
program.
that's a lot of tractors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You ain't lying. So that's yeah. Whoever
I mean,
gets
those
that
things
for
aren't
Tech.
cheap, but I mean, 75 million. I feel like it'll get you a couple at least.
Well, they have been getting donations in since Franklin's been there. They begin
The
support.
Franklin effect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Franklin is
Franklin.
well. And the big difference is, remember Beamer. Beamer was great. I don't care what anyone says. Everybody's, oh, is he Tech? Well, let's just call it right what it is. Let's give credit where credit is due. Beamer was great at recruiting the state of Virginia and pulling in just about anybody he wanted out of the state of Virginia. Didn't get
What
all of them, but got a lot of them,
what
and
I
got
always thought
most of the ones he
Beamer
wanted.
was really good at, and you saw this with a lot of I don't know, it's not special teams, but they were really good at identifying like a 2-star recruit that nobody else was even looking at.
Coach
Maybe it
his
was a
ass up.
like what was the kid? Kurt Gervais' son. I
Right.
can't remember the kid's name, but yeah, Kurt Gervais' son. Um, was not exactly what you would call a heralded recruit coming out of high school, but they got him down there. They
Coached him up.
parked his butt in the weight room for a year or two, and he became a productive player.
Right.
They had guys like that every year.
Yep. And then they would get the cream of the crop from Virginia, from the state. A lot of those kids, and he did great. But this is the difference. Franklin is getting in-state kids, but he's always done well at recruiting nationwide. That's the difference with him. He can recruit nationwide, and he did that at hey, what's going on, Robin? Thank you for tuning in.
I got a question about that.
Yeah, so he's go ahead. What was that?
No, I was just wondering. We hear all this about the Franklin effect.
Right.
Hey, it's Franklin. Ooh, this 4-star cornerback that we just got,
yeah,
was a Penn State commit,
mm-hmm.
and they got him to flip.
Right.
Is that the Franklin effect too?
No.
No.
Well, that is it's the Franklin effect in a negative way, because that kid could have went to Virginia Tech with Franklin, because he's flipped a lot of kids or a good amount of kids from Penn State to Virginia Tech. Now this kid was at Penn State and flipped to Virginia. He's supposed to be a really good quarterback. He's a cornerback. He's like a 6'2", long kid. Some recruiting companies have him ranked as a 4, some as a high 3. But anyway, we can never have enough cornerbacks. No. Great to have him in. And
last year was proof of that.
Right, and I've seen some other young men commit as well. So that's also something that I've been looking forward to. Seeing some athletes come in and out of the program, or coming into the program. A lot of the youngsters that are that have committed. So Good on that. We're officially in war with Virginia Tech again on the money front. So let's see. Remember, we're supposed to be the money school, right?
That's the idea, yeah.
That's the idea. Yeah, we're
We're, yeah,
supposed to be the ones.
we're the trust fund babies or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. So let's see what we come back with as the University of Virginia
I keep waiting for my
goes.
wife's trust fund to show up.
Right.
I haven't seen that yet.
So let's get into the last subject here. We're going to talk about the Spurs and the Knicks. Now I'm asking this. All
yes,
right, who's going to win next game? Because whoever wins next game, I feel is going to win the entire series.
It's what, 2-1 now?
It's 2-1.
Well, of course it's 2-1.
The Spurs win in New York, and they tore the damn city up. They're beating fans up on the street. They're going crazy. Yeah, they went crazy. I was talking to one of my cousins about it, and they was like, "Oh man, they're gonna tear the city up if they win." My cousin said, "They're gonna tear the city up if they don't win." Oh, it doesn't matter if they don't win. If they do win, they're gonna tear the damn city up. And that was a lot of it yesterday.
So either way, Philly's going to burn. Is that what you're saying?
No, they're going to tear New York to pieces. The way that they treated those fans in those jerseys, they're ripping jerseys off kids. They ripped a kid. A kid had on a Hawks jersey in the street after the game. And they ripped a Hawks jersey off of a kid. I said, "Oh no!" I said, New York.
The Hawks.
Yeah, they ripped a jersey off of kids with a Hawks uniform or jersey.
That's like ripping a Wake Forest jersey off a kid. Why?
Because they're crazy. Eric is saying Knicks will be the hungry team and will not have the win streak over there. That is true too. No, I think that New York is going to win. I think New York's going to win. Bottom line, look at Robin. He says New York concrete jungle. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that they can do it. I think New York is going to pull it off.
It's a different place up there. I'd say that.
Yeah, it's a madhouse up there. But I think that they're going to win. I think they've been needing it for so long. And after, they're going to Mr. You-know-who showed up, and they feel like that gave them a lot of bad luck. And
he's not going to Game 4, by the way.
I wouldn't think so. That had the city in a tizzy because it made people have to go in early but hey, it is what it is when it comes to that. And I really want to see what New York is going to do in against these Spurs because they're playing again, I believe, in New York.
It's 2-2. Then is it 1-1-1?
Yep, 1-1-1.
Okay.
So I think if New York wins, and I think they will win. I think that they're going to beat the Spurs. I think that the experience will start to kick in a little bit more. I know the Spurs they're going to be hell to deal with.
Well, that's
moving forward.
Yeah, who was it? The Knicks coach was complaining about the foul discrepancy.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be tough to if they can get that kind of gapping calls again. Maybe they can call Duke and say, "Hey, how do you do this?" It might be a way to pull that off.
That's what we were just talking about before, James. Yeah, UVA has the most snaps, the most experience of any college. And I said, does it translate to wins? I said yes. And I said the team that just won a national championship and went undefeated was one of the oldest teams, top 5 oldest teams in the nation. So, yeah, I really think it's going to make a huge difference. I think that more snaps you can get on, more players with more snaps on the field, I think it just makes a bigger, better difference. Also, more tenured, bigger, stronger kids as well.
You've seen stuff more times.
That's right. Right.
I think it's just it's something to be said for experience.
That's right. But who you got winning though, Ed?
I like I said last week, I think the Knicks have had any number of chances to get bounced out of these playoffs, and they just keep coming back. They can't lose every year. Of course,
right.
I say that as a Virginia fan, but they can't lose every year. So, is this the most talented team they've ever had? No, but it's maybe got a little more heart or a little more, I don't know, moxie than some of the teams in the past.
Sure,
Well,
sure.
but it's there. Sometimes you hear about uh, teams being a team of destiny. That might be the case here, where they just they're comfortable playing with each other and they can sustain that level of play for long periods of time. And San Antonio is just not, for whatever reason, they're not doing it.
And then some people will say, well, Spurs, they went on the road and they went in and beat the perceived championship team for the next decade.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma City Thunder. They
Yeah.
they beat them. My man, what's up, John Samaha? What's going on, brother? He said road trip to Wake, 10:31. Let's get a big crew down there for the payback. I love that, brother. I love to hear that. That would be awesome.
I've never been to a game at Wake.
Me neither. That's a long drive to Winston-Salem.
Well, yeah, it's not on the way to anything. So
no.
Asheville maybe, but
I was gonna say unless you're going into the mountains of Kentucky or Tennessee or something.
My daughter worked in Asheville for 2 years.
Yeah, unless you're going down that way.
It's Asheville is kind of like Charlottesville, but a little more secluded,
right?
And more head shops, but and more breweries too, for that matter. But
what else is there to do?
Really, not much. It's I can't believe I've never been to Wake.
No, I've never been to Wake.
Interesting. I have not been to Death Valley yet. Haven't been to Tallahassee. Huh. I got to start checking off my bucket list, I guess.
Yeah, it's about that time, Ed. Well,
you know something I don't?
What?
Do I need to start?
Oh, no. I mean, you dodged a few bullets.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you'd heard something.
No. You dodged a few bullets. So let's start checking more stuff off.
Well, growing up in Madison, it's fair to say I've dodged a few bullets.
But that's that's all the topics for today, guys. We talked about Brendan Sorsby just to recap. And I don't feel like he should be eligible right now. He needs to go ahead and practice on getting.
You're a little bit nicer about it than I am. I like the whole permanent lifetime suspension.
Permanent lifetime suspension.
Well, I mean, it's you had the Black Sox in 1919, and then you had Pete Rose late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's a pretty good run there. Not to say that there weren't guys betting on baseball, but you just didn't hear about it.
Then we're looking at we had the ring reveal for the Gator Bowl. We also had the NC State game, the congregation or the fan base getting an extra home game. Good news there. Didn't have to pay for it. Then we had the what is this here? Oh, being having the extra experience on the team. Big deal. And I think it translates to wins.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech and the donation wars officially on. It's your move, Virginia. Let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, Spurs in New
York. Sell some Zima.
Yeah. And I said Spurs in New York. I say New York wins. And therefore, I think they would take the whole thing. Anything you want to add to that, Ed?
No, I mean I'm really not all that bothered about the NBA. LeBron has done such a great job as general manager of the Lakers that
Lord,
they haven't made the finals in how many years?
The Lakers won it 3 years ago.
That was COVID.
It's a banner. It's a banner.
Okay.
As much as I don't want to say
it's a banner. Yes,
it's a banner.
It doesn't. I don't think it has quite the same
cachet.
Cachet. Thank you. but I mean, technically, yes, it's a banner. I don't know that
Yeah.
Red Auerbach would count it, but it's a banner.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guess if you don't have any banners,
Yeah.
it
It
would
would definitely matter.
having one would be a big deal.
That's right.
I mean,
That's right.
some schools don't have any banners.
Ooh,
Just saying.
that's a good way to close. Anything else?
Yeah, good old Mary Washington even has a banner, for pity's sake.
Oh Lord. Yep. And so does JMU.
Little D3 school has a banner.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep. So does JMU.
Who?
JMU. They got
Never
championship
heard of him.
banner for their level.
Amy's not here.
But,
I can say that.
so anything else you want to add, Ed?
No, sir. I'm just enjoying baseball. I know nobody else is, but
about it.
I am.
No doubt about it, brother. So for my last word, my closing statement is, I feel like, the entire college landscape is changing right before our eyes. Congress, Nick Saban, and everyone is trying to control college football. But this is what I'm going to say. Congress, Nick Saban, all these
Old white guys?
jackasses didn't say a damn thing when they were making money hand over fist.
You were listening to Colin Cowherd the other day, weren't you?
No.
Oh, you should go back and listen to that. He's basically saying the same thing you were. That it's you didn't hear crap out of Saban when he was making $100 million.
Nick Saban was making more money, getting more recruits, to have more advantages. And I know, I get it. He built that up, but you can't birth a monster or birth a baby, and then the baby becomes a monster, and you walk out on it. You just walk out on it because you didn't want to be a father anymore. You gave birth. You helped give birth to this child, and now this child is a monster, and now you want to walk away from it, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't like what you see, and you don't like the way it's acting. You don't like the way it's growing up.
Yeah.
And now it's a monster, and now it's a problem for you.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a problem when you were making triple and double college coaches that you would play on every Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Somebody spent $300 million on a athletic facility.
And then partnering with the NCAA to try to enforce and try to get these things implemented is bullshit to me. Now people are having problems, or saying they have problems with kids getting paid. I have no problem with these kids getting paid. They're able to. This is the most. They have the college championship. Now they have a tournament. They're making more money than they ever have. The college contracts are bigger than they ever have been. We got more people watching college football. This game we're going to have in Brazil was going to be streamed, and all this and all that, and all the streaming going on. This is all bullshit from anybody who has any problem with kids getting paid, with colleges saying, oh, it's all about the education now. You know what? I don't want to hear it.
If the adults are making money, why can't the kids?
That baby is here, and y'all got to help raise it.
Yeah.
You don't get to walk out on it and become self-righteous and become the pastor police of the NIL and eligibility when you were in charge and you were pretty much getting all the kids you wanted, all the money you wanted, squeezing boosters out of everything in the world, and winning championships, and now it's not what you think it should be.
So you think Brendan Saban should just sit down and shut up?
Oh yeah. Well, he needs to become more part of the solution and stop trying to take more. I feel like kids should have the ability to earn on their, to earn on their name and likeness. I think that they should be paid for what they do. They put too much time, sweat, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll use this every damn time. I'm gonna use, and it only makes this statement or what's going on right now more valid. If your child, and just think of it as your child, not athletes out there making money while playing football or playing other sports. If your child, if you are a parent of one of these kids, not an athlete, let's say the kid was a brainiac, and Microsoft calls you and says, I want to interview your son. We want to talk to your son. We want to pay for his education or whatever institution or MIT or wherever he wants to go. But we also want him to work for us at Microsoft at decoding viruses.
Go get
And
the
we're
money,
gonna
kid.
and we're gonna give him $500,000, $1 million a year to do it because viruses are running rampant, and
Yeah.
this is the worst time ever
Go get the money.
for cybersecurity, and it's a huge growing industry. We need somebody who's a reverse hacker, somebody who can decode some of these worms and some of
Yeah.
these viruses.
Because you don't know
And
what's
it's
going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen to them tomorrow. They could be a like you said, a brainiac 1 minute and majoring in property management the next. It's
that's right.
it's you take the money while you can.
So while this kid, this brainiac, this smart kid, really smart kid who's working for Microsoft is making $1 million, getting his education paid for by Microsoft or whoever, or the
Yeah.
school is actually probably paying for it because he's as smart as he is on the academic
I'm
stuff.
surprised more companies don't do that.
No, they do. They do.
Well, I mean, I know they do to some extent, but actively recruiting, nerds and programming nerds in high school or something. It's
They do. They do.
get them while
But
they're
what I'm
young.
saying is, if this was your child, would
Oh,
you
yeah.
have a problem with it if he wasn't an athlete? That's why I have an issue. It must be because they're an athlete is why
Yeah,
these
just be
these
smart
folks
with your
have
money.
so many problems. Yeah, because if my
That's the only
child,
thing I would say.
so people are hypocritical about it because they're athletes,
Yeah,
and that's all I got to say about that. But Nick Saban, this is your baby.
you
You
started
know,
it.
you started a lot of this stuff and some of these mega college programs with all the amenities, spoiling the kids, giving them everything, having these incredible facilities for them to go to. You're making more money than anybody else, in college football. I
Don't
don't want
forget
to hear,
running interference for him.
and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm not saying that he didn't earn it. He did, but this train was on this track. And,
Yeah,
and it was coming down. It was coming down the whole time, coming
yeah.
down the track. Sooner or later, you had to pay these kids. These kids are too successful. There's too much money being made, and the money, you know what? It came out of the roof of the bank, and they said, "Wait a minute, all this money? Where's all this money coming from?" They said, "Shit, we got to start giving this shit to the kids."
They must have torn the roof off a sucker.
Exactly, and they said, "We got to start paying the kids now. For Uncle Sam come and get us."
We can't
So
can't have kids walking around with money.
yeah,
What's this world
well,
coming to?
too late. Too bad. So
Oops.
I'm gonna get off my soapbox. That was a 5-10 minute soapbox there. So whatever. But I appreciate all of you
you're just
folks.
trying to get over an hour. I see what you're doing.
I see. Well, I'm at 58 seconds right now.
Yeah.
So I gotta say thank you for all the viewers and listeners for hanging out, spending time with us. We will be back next week. Keep this thing running. I got packages coming, but we will be back. And thank you thank all the viewers for hanging out, spending time with us. But as of now, this shop is closed. Thank you guys. Lots of fun this week. Let's
Miss
see.
you.